Today is the day. It is Election Day. Polls open in less than 1 hour now. Californians will decide who advances to November in one of the state's most wide open governor's races in years.
Yeah, and we have team coverage this morning. News 8's Chris Groh joins us live in studio with a closer look at the governor's race. But we start with News 8's Tori Apodaca, who is live from the Register of Voters with everything that you need to know in case you haven't voted just yet. What are those details? Hey, Tori.
Hi, good morning. The gates just opened here, but the polling places, they will open at 7 a.m. and stay open until 8 p.m. Keep in mind, you're going to want to be standing in line before 8 p.m. in order for your vote to count. Across the county, though, there are 220 vote centers and more than 150 ballot drop boxes. Vote centers offer more than just a place to cast a ballot. The Register of Voters says that the centers also provide accessible voting equipment, multilingual assistance, and same-day voter registration services. Those voters will be able to conditionally register and cast a provisional ballot. Mail-in ballots are also still an option today. If you do choose to use the mail, it must be postmarked by June 2nd and received within 7 days. But election officials encourage voters to use a drop box or vote center if possible. As of May 31st, over 2 million mail-in ballots had gone out in San Diego County, with a 22% voter turnout. The Register of Voters says that San Diego typically sees a 34.88% voter turnout when it's a gubernatorial primary. We spoke with the Register of Voters ahead of the day.
There'll be lines on Election Day. People tend to wait until the last day of voting on June 2nd, Tuesday, but we strongly encourage people to take advantage of the early voting.
Yeah, of course, that's what's always encouraged, to vote early. But if you haven't, of course, you still have that option today. Again, the polling locations open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. You can head to our website, cbs8.com, to find an interactive map to see which vote centers are closest to where you live. And of course, this is a wide open race for governor, as we are continuing to see all of the different candidates campaigning up and down the state. Let's go ahead and send it over to Chris Groh, who is live in studio with what the latest polls are showing for that race.
Good morning, Tori. And look, all of those candidates continuing to make their final push. They haven't dropped out yet, so they are going to see this through here, including many of them polling in the single digits. But really, 3 have begun to separate themselves. In fact, 3 major polls back that up right before primary day. And although the results are different, what we are seeing is one constant theme. Javier Becerra, the Democrat, seen as the front runner with some combination of Democrat Tom Steyer and Republican Steve Hilton following up. In fact, in an Emerson poll just recently released, Steyer and Hilton only separated by a percentage point. So the big question is, will we see 2 Democrats go on to the general election, Becerra and Steyer, or will it be a traditional race, some combination of either Steyer or Becerra versus Republican Hilton? And if so, again, which Democrat? For a while, it was seen as a possibility that it could be 2 Republicans and move on to the general because it was such a crowded field amongst Democrats. However, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco has fallen precipitously after debates and after Hilton received the endorsement of President Donald Trump. Hilton has even called for Bianco to drop out. Now, something you may have heard of in this race, strategic voting. Voters, especially Democratic ones, have been doing this. So why have we seen that? Here's election data expert Paul Mitchell.
Who among the candidates that might be able to win am I most aligned with? And so that has pushed a lot of voters towards either Becerra or Steyer, a lot of the Democratic voters. And on the Republican side, some of the same math has pushed Hilton up. Becerra became a front runner what seems like 15 minutes ago. He didn't get a chance to do a lot of spending on what his biography is, tell voters who he is. Months ago. He's having to do that here at the tail end of the campaign.
Access to health care.
Yeah, and remember, it was seen that after former Congressman Eric Swalwell dropped out, that Becerra got a lot of that support that was behind Swalwell. Now, because it's such a tight race, it could be until Friday that we see who the final 2 that move on to the general are.